Hello, fellow adventurers. I'm Lewis Nichols, and I've been a little stuck. I want to do some videos on ships in the theme of world-building fantasy warfare for RPGs, Dungeons and Dragons in particular. Ugh, okay, most of that was for the algorithm, but at least we all know why we're here. You can help that algorithm along too if you want. Hitting the like button is one of the easiest and one of the most helpful things you can do to help a YouTuber. Subs and comments are cool too. But back to the point. I did a video a long time ago, back when Successful was around 20 views. It's too old and too small to build a series on now, although it's pretty good for the videos I did back then. For the record, a normal number of views at the time of writing this is about 100. 300 is good, and I've had a couple over 1,000. So the question is, where to start this world-building voyage? I think the answer is to establish a baseline ship that everything else we do can be compared to. It will identify the aspects of a ship that we need to dedicate videos to, such as armament, and it will define what we consider normal, such as speed, hull points, and other specifications. I've already chosen, although it took a lot more effort than it should have. We're starting with the sailing ship, as described on pages 191 to 194 in the Ghosts of Saltmarsh, and we're going to make a few minor adjustments. We're going to talk about the ship's combat system out of that source in a later video. If you're going to run a seagoing game, Ghosts of Saltmarsh has some pretty good stuff, but I'll hold off recommending it to you for now. I've only absorbed about 5% of the book at this point. I was thinking about a name for our ship class. I've always been partial to galleon, but really, just plain sailing ship is a perfectly generic name for our most generic ship. So that's settled. This is a development level 4 ship. That's my own scale, work in progress, that relates to the general economic and cultural advancement of an area. Dev 4 means that a real interactive economy exists. There are organized militaries, and a good base of leveled artisans and spellcasters. Dev 4 is Renaissance Italy. In a Dev 3, the top ships of the sea might be this build. At Dev 5, they're still going to be around, just outclassed by the modern. This is a 3-mast ship, and they require a minimum crew of 20, but 30 is better. It can accommodate 50 total man-sized beings, with some degree of comfort. Past this, you start running into concerns about everybody getting regular long rests. Normal supplies of food and water will last these 50 a couple of weeks. The ship's cargo capacity is 100 tons, and she can make 120 miles in a day. Obviously, this is with a reliable wind, and some days will be better than others. Speed in excess to this will cause extra wear, so it's not exactly a maximum, but it is without paying a cost. I'm going to say our sailing ship does not go around armed in normal times. However, a ballista, mangonel, or other smallish siege weapon can be mounted if the ship needs it. If you're tracking details, these require maintenance and will add a bit to the cost of operating the ship, and they will take up a little cargo space as well. Hull points are 300, and sails can take 100 points of damage before being rendered useless. The helm is only 50, but harder to hit. ACs are 15, 12, and 18 respectively. Obviously upgrades are available, but that's a whole nother video. If you can't wait, I get it, so you could always buy your own copy of Saltmarsh, or do some home brewing, or do both, because that's what our video is going to be. Now what about accommodations? A party of 5 is going to have a hard time finding private space for everyone. If your group has taken over a ship, they're going to have to etch out some space from the cargo capacity, or just accept less privacy. Keep in mind, this is a merchant ship. It's made to be easily boarded so cargo can be loaded and unloaded with ease. This is something that's hard to change, even in an attempt to convert the ship for war. Short of extensive, expensive, and extended time at dock, about the best thing that you can do is mount anti-boarding nets. If you do make the conversion, it's going to cut into your profits when it's time to become a merchant again. So how would this ship be used in a campaign? It's a good starter ship for an adventuring team that wants to sail the seas. It's cheap to hire, and capturing one from pirates wouldn't be too hard. It's not game-breaking for even a low-level group to own one. If they do some trading, you could even hand-wave it, as expenses and profits canceling each other out. or you could really get into the details. If a party member wants to play merchant, you can still simplify things by saying that one haul's profit is something like 3d6 minus 3d4 in gold times 100. That's pretty much break even, especially if you say that the weekly operating costs are 100 gold. Then real profit is based on charisma checks at port. Let's say it's a DC 14 persuasion. Every point over is a 10% increase in profit. Or it's a loss if the roll is under. As it's not our topic for today, we're going to have to go deeper in a future episode on economics. But this is a good baseline to get you going. Now, for those murder hobos out there, it might feel like that you could just, pillage and pirate as you want. But keep in mind, the world does communicate. If a ship's crew it starts to develop a reputation, one way or another, people are going to find out. Any group past 5th level is gonna get talked about. They're gonna have a reputation. There will be rumors and records passed among the sages, bards, and government officials. Teams might be watched or even banned from certain ports. If they're the good guys, they might get extra perks. People invested in the success of a community love to have fighting teams in their town as long as they don't cause more problems than they solve. Alright folks, that's our baseline. We're going to be talking about island and coastal world building for a while, and ships are a big subsection to that theme. I've got another small island to talk about. The map is already drawn. Then we have medium and large islands. Yeah, lots of work to keep this station going. I hope you're enjoying it. I'm glad you all stopped by. Have a great rest of the week, and I will see you next time. Cheers.